right? And when this human operator is doing a work, so he or she, okay, will definitely be doing that work, okay, in a workplace, in an environment, okay, in a certain environment, okay, whether in a house, in the field, out there in the field, okay, in a pool, okay, in the kitchen, on the car seat, in the cabin car, okay, and many more, right? So they will look into how does ergonomic comes related with design, right? So what is ergonomics? So I do think that you are now, okay, for until today, you do have some idea what is basically ergonomics. And when we look into ergonomics, okay, we have this human-centered design, whereby when we have the human doing something, and he or she is doing something in a particular workplace, okay, in an environment. So this is where we need to consider ergonomics, right? So there's lots of definitions. So looking into another definition of ergonomics, whereby it is an application of scientific principles, methods, and data drawn from a variety of disciplines to the development of engineering systems in which people play a significant role. So what is the main keyword here? What is the main keyword for ergonomics here? Anyone? From this definition, what is the main keyword here? This is a com check. Can you hear me basically?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So what's the main keyword here again that you can somehow extract from this definition here? What's the main keyword? Anyone would like to have a guess?
People.
Yes, people, right? The main keyword is people, right? When there's a people, when there's human, right? Thank you very much. Who was this just now?
Shafa, Kali Shafa.
Shafa, right? So thank you very much. So yes, the keyword here is people. People is the human, right? Human. So when we have human, right? Anywhere when we have a human, and definitely he will be doing something. Even lying down is doing a work. He's lying down, right? Sleeping is also doing a work. He's sleeping, right? He's sleeping. So when this person, this people here is doing something, right? So this is where we need to take into consideration, okay, ergonomics, whereby we need to take into consideration maybe the principles. We need to use several methods or maybe some data, okay, so that we can somehow provide this people here, right? This people here, a system, environment, okay, a working procedure that is safe for them, okay, so that they can perform their work efficiently and also increase their performance. Right, so other definitions of, we look into ergonomics, okay, so these are some of the disciplines. So we've looked into this last previous lecture, okay, there's lots of discipline, okay, that involves ergonomics. And if you look into all these disciplines, you can see the people inside it. It must involve the people, right? So this is another one, okay, so this is where we look into the engineering system to be developed, range from the use of a simple tool by customer to a multi-person socio-technical system, right? So whether it is for one person or for the whole population, the main thing is the component inside that system, the component inside that particular field is basically the human, right? It's basically the human. So yesterday I throw this question to the other group, okay, about ergonomics. How about if we do have an application that uses robots, right? That uses robots. So do we need to consider ergonomics when we design all these robots and whatnot? Anyone would like to give an opinion on this? Yeah, I'm just throwing a general question. Whether when those engineers, okay, designers, okay, design robots, okay, do they need to consider ergonomics?
Yes.
Yes. Who's this?
Was.
Yes, Mark. In what perspective do we need to consider ergonomics?
On how the robot works.
How the robot works, okay? For example,
macam robotic arms.
Okay.
So we calculate the time.
Okay, right. So means that how do we replicate the robotic arm with the human arm? Is it? Am I correct?
Yes.
Right. So yes, that's good. Right. So we need to design it based on the human biomechanics, human movement, and also maybe the size. Right. Maybe the size. Okay. Maybe the size. Okay. In Japan, we do have these humanoid robots, right? Humanoid robots that serve at certain high-tech restaurants. Okay? They serve the customers using robots, right? So just imagine that robot is much bigger than you, very big, like a giant, and the size, the size proportion of the size is not proportionate with a human size. So the customers will be a bit awkward to deal with these robots. Okay, maybe they will be a bit scared, maybe, right? So this will somehow affect their emotions, maybe their appetite, maybe, right? And the look of the robot. Okay, if it doesn't look so friendly, it doesn't look like a human, so this will be something not that good also, right? So yes, we need to also to include, need to consider ergonomics, although we are dealing with robots. And again, these robots are interacting with the human, right? Are interacting with the human, right? So that's why normally if we do have these robots, human robots, they will use a female voice because it is much more softer, right? It is much more pleasant to hear, right? Something like that. Okay. So another definition by Cromer. Cromer is one of the authors of famous author for ergonomics books, right? So our textbook is also by Cromer. So he said that ergonomics, or even also called as human factors in the US, or human engineering, can be defined as a discipline to study human characteristics for appropriate design of the living and work environment. So we are studying the human characteristics, okay, for the appropriate design of the living and work environment, right? So we are studying what is the character of the human, so that we can provide or produce designs, okay, to make our lives much more better, okay, to make the work environment, the workplace much more better, right? So we've looked into the aims of ergonomics. Okay, we've looked this in previous lecture notes. Okay, whereby we could see that if we have all these tools, all these devices, okay, all these machines and whatnot, all right. So whether it is directly or indirectly used or interacts with the human, okay, we always need to look into its safety, okay, how the people, how the human operators will be using this particular tools, equipment, device, and whatnot, okay, and how it could somehow provide a much better comfort, okay, efficiency, and also increased performance of the humans. Okay, here's an example of picking up a box, right? Picking up a box. Okay, so this is on the left side is the wrong way because you are somehow bending your back. Okay, whereby if you do it frequently, okay, in a prolonged period, so you are at risk to get low back pain, LBP. So LBP is a common MSD. We'll look into MSD in the coming lecture notes, right? So low back pain, right? So this is what we do. We squat, okay? We squat, okay, so that our posture is not that bent, and then we'll pick up the box, okay, using the view on the right. Okay, I think everyone knows about this. Okay, I think since we were primary school, maybe, okay, we were taught, okay, maybe if I'm mistaken, in pendidikan jasmani kesihatan, okay, we were taught of how to take care of our back, okay, because we do have the the spinal cord there, okay, and then we have the spine, okay. So this is where it is very important for us to make sure that our back is healthy. Right, so we are being taught of how to lift up boxes, how to lift up loads from the ground or from any level to another level. So we are taught to not to bend, okay, we are taught to squat down, okay, straighten our posture, pick up the box, then stand straight back up, right? But the question here is, do we apply all this, right? Do you apply all this? Just to ask you, okay? Every one of you, I do guarantee that you have picked up a box and put it somewhere on top or somewhere at another place or whatnot, right? Picking up a box from the floor or from any table or whatnot. But do you apply all these techniques? Me, myself, I rarely apply all this. Because why? Because, well, it's about time. It's about, we do neglect all these things, okay? We do neglect all things, okay? Because we think that our body could adapt, okay, all these. Okay, but in a prolonged period, if you are doing it, okay, frequently, okay, maybe in 1 hour you're picking the box maybe 7 or 8 times, okay, and the load is very heavy, and you're doing it, but in an 8-hour shift, okay, 5 days per week, okay, working days and whatnot. So maybe after a couple of years doing that every day, okay, you will eventually end up with a low back pain, MSD, right? But for us, maybe it is a one-off job. Okay, someone call you, hey, come help me to pick up this box and put it in another place. Okay, so it is a one-off job. So this is where we just pick it up, just simply pick it up and then put it somewhere, right? Okay, can you follow me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, right. So this is the issue. Okay, this is the issue that we will look into about, do we apply all these safety interventions and whatnot. Okay, right. So we are going to look into two distinct aspects of ergonomics. Okay, the first one, we are studying on the human, okay, human ourselves. Okay, and the second one, we are looking into what do we use, okay, what do we do, right, and also the environment. Okay, so again, when you look back into ergonomics, okay, you will always end up with these three components: the human operator doing the job, okay, the job that they are doing, okay, the work that they are doing, and the third one is the environment or the workplace that they are doing that particular job. Okay, so besides this, okay, there's observation. Okay, we can observe, okay, actual performance of human equipment, right? So that we could somehow suggest, okay, any improvements or any innovations towards this particular maybe product, maybe procedure, maybe SOP, okay, that could further be improved. That could further be improved for the sake of the human operator. Okay, benefits of ergonomics. I think we've looked this last week, right? So these are some of the benefits. Right, these are some of the benefits. But when it comes in for your test, so when it comes for your test, right? So we are looking only for the most accurate answers, right? So maybe you have this mindset that the test for ergonomics design, okay, is something that you can think of. Okay, then you can just put it in words and then put it as your answer. Yes, it is correct, but basically we are looking how do you relate that particular answer, okay, with the principles and methods of ergonomics, okay, and whether it really specifies and justifies your answer. Okay, if it is too general, right? If it is too general, so maybe you won't get marks for it, right? So, for example, let's say the example is, the question is how to pick up a box correctly, right? So maybe your answer is pick up the box without bending the body, okay? Or maybe you need to pick up the box safely. Very general, right? So this is where we need your answers to be a bit more detailed, okay? And you are relating that answer with respect to the ergonomics principles. Okay, right. So this is the goals of ergonomics basically. So we are trying to see whether we could amplify human capabilities, right? We can utilize human abilities, okay, facilitate in human efficiency, and we are trying to avoid overloading or underloading that may cause injuries, okay, to the human operator. So we've looked also this, okay, last week, right? And I do believe until now, okay, today you are able to give, right, to give the goals, to give the benefits of why is it important, okay, why do we need ergonomics, okay, especially in design, okay. So in the background of ergonomics, the people behind this particular area, okay, we do have many people, okay, many people from many backgrounds, right? So that's why if you do join HFEM, anyone has opened HFEM website? Anyone? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Have you happened to open the HFEM website? No, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, right. Maybe you would like, after the class, maybe you would like just to give a short, very brief browse, browse to the HFEM website. So in there, you could see there's many people and members of the HFEM that comes from different backgrounds. Okay, not only from ergonomics, not only from health sciences, okay, but we do have pilots, we do have consultants, we do have insurance agents there, okay, that wants to contribute, okay, to Malaysia, okay, with respect to ergonomics issues, right? So maybe you can just browse HFM website, okay, so that you do know that we do have an association, and so we do have an organization here in Malaysia that caters for ergonomics issues, okay, that is being registered under ROS Malaysia, okay, and also IEA, okay, International Ergonomics Association. Right. So going back to the notes, right? So we can see there's lots of people in it, okay, with many specialties, many expertise, right? And this is where when you look at all this, what do we see in it? We see the human operator. We see the designer, we see the engineer, okay, we see the nurse, okay, we see the students, okay, because why? Because these are the human operators, and these people, okay, are basically doing something. They must be doing something, right? They must be doing something. Sorry. And for these people doing that particular job, doing that particular work, anything, okay, they must do it somewhere, and this somewhere is where we do have the environment. Okay, just a short discussion here. Anything to comment on this picture? Anything to comment with respect to ergonomics? So it is week 3, so I do hope you do have the what do you call that, the not the knowledge, it's the semangat, okay, the spirit of why we need, okay, to learn this ergonomics basically, right? And then I do assume that until now you have some idea basically, hey, why ergonomics is everywhere. Okay, right. So anyone, for this particular picture, can you see this picture? This man holding a box with this
Yes.
right? So any comments on this? Your first test will be something like this. We'll be giving you pictures and whatnot, and we're going to seek your opinion, right, based on the shown figure. Right? Any comments on this? Anyone would like to try? What's wrong or what's right with this man?
Maybe he can use a stair.
Maybe he can use a stairs. What's wrong with it?
Because he is not parallel with the box that he put.
It's not parallel with the box.
The box
right?
is much higher.
Okay, the box is much higher, right? So that is quite a straightforward answer, right? For your test, right? So what we would like you to answer in your test is basically you need to relate it to the ergonomics terminologies and whatnot. Okay, for example, this man, although he's wearing a safety hat here, right? He's wearing a safety hat, but he's holding a box, okay, whereby his hands are much more higher than his shoulder, much more higher than his elbow. So this is where we say that he's not in a good standing posture, and when he's lifting a load there, okay, it is not good also, because that load, okay, it must be, I'm not sure how many kilos is it, but there must be some load in it, right? And eventually, upon having this standing posture or lifting posture like this, okay, he will somehow experience, okay, maybe some pains, or some tense or stretching of the muscles, right? Of the maybe of the or having some pain at the back end, okay, or on the neck, okay, on the shoulder maybe, right? So yes, we do suggest that this particular guy, this particular man, uses a stair. So yesterday's class, one of the female students suggested, why not we use a forklift? At the back of the picture over here, I'm not sure, is this a forklift? Maybe, I'm not sure, right? This one, okay, right, this one, maybe it is a forklift. Okay, yes, you could use a forklift, okay, you could use a forklift, right? We do have this topic of MMH, manual material handling, and one of the method is, yes, it is using a forklift. But looking at this scenario, right, is it suitable to use a forklift? Anyone?
No.
Not
Why?
No. Only one.
Why is that?
only one box.
Yes, because it's only one box. It is only one box. So this is a type of question, okay, or type of answers that we are going to get from you from the test, right? So yes, it is true, it is correct. You can use a forklift, but it is not that suitable. So if you give that type of answer, so most probably you will get 0 for that particular question, right? So you must relate it back to the ergonomics principles and also methods. So besides using maybe a short stair, right? So maybe you could, what can you do? What can you do? Any idea besides using this stair?
Put something under his to step, such as a block or.
Okay, maybe you would like to use a block, right? This means that he's trying to heighten his height, right? Okay. What if I say rearrange the racking arrangements? Maybe that box should be put at a much lower racking, maybe, right? So this particular guy, this particular person do not need to reach upwards, right? So these are some of the suggestions, interventions that you could suggest. You could suggest when we are trying to suggest some ergonomics intervention. Okay, now, so the problem is about this picture. Since I was teaching this subject for the past 3 or 4 years, 3 years back, right? This man is in the same static position like this. He's not moving, right? He's not moving, right? So again, by not moving his body like this, okay, because it is a picture, because it is a still picture, right? So he's not moving basically, right? So to maintain this particular posture, right, it is not that appropriate, because why? He will eventually injure his arms, okay, his shoulders, okay, his back muscles most probably, and we can say that he's going to be fatigued, okay. He's going to be fatigued much more faster, right? So how do we lift the box, lift a load, okay? What is the optimum height that we could lift? What is the optimum distance? What is the optimum weight? So all this will look into okay, the topics of MMH, okay, in the coming slides, okay, whereby we look into manual material handling. Okay, right. So when we look about the development of ergonomics, the evolution of ergonomics, right? So basically, well, ergonomics is the terminology, but the application, okay, is being, is being applied basically since mankind first, okay, not first step on the moon, first put a step on earth, right? Nabi Adam alaihi salam, right? But at that time he need clothes, right? He needs something to wear, okay? He needs something to eat and whatnot, right? So this is where he will refer back to his body size. He will refer back to his body characteristic. Right. So that's why there's this one Malay. Is it a proverb or is it a saying that ukur baju pada badan sendiri? You don't take measure of your outfit from your friend's body. So this is where there's this one term in the Malay, we call it ukur baju pada badan sendiri, because why, we want to see whether our anything that is did to us fits our preference or not, okay? In terms of maybe clothing, in terms of maybe expenses, in terms of maybe things that we need to buy, that we want to buy, okay, and many more, right? So basically, this ergonomics field, okay, is directed, okay, rooted from Europe, okay, from okay, US, UK, right? Because at that time, basically it originates, or it rooted from the First World War, whereby at that time everyone is putting every effort onto their soldiers, onto their weapons, okay, to win the war, all right? So this is where we look after this, okay, where how ergonomics come into the field, okay, or area of this human, what do you call that, human attributes. Okay, now, so looking into the terminology of ergonomics and human factors, so these are basically the same terminologies. They carry the same meaning, okay, except that the names are different. Okay, right? So if you look at people that always do all these research or findings, for most of the areas, right? They are always looking into the physical body, the build-up of the human body. Okay, so whether it is sportsmen, okay, military officers, artists, and whatnot, okay, they are always looking into the human body. Because why? Because from the human body that they studied, okay, will somehow produce another new area, okay, another new area of knowledge. Okay, can you hear me? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if you look into okay, these famous artists, okay, or famous scientists, okay, like Leonardo da Vinci, okay, the man, the person that draw the Mona Lisa, right? So he was claimed to have lots of drawings, lots of writings on the human body. Okay, we do have this, the Vitruvian, this one, the Vitruvian Man, okay, by Leonardo da Vinci. This is very famous of him, one of his work, right? So he's looking into the human segments of the body, okay, and this is where he studied a lot about anatomy, okay, about the human body, okay, about the physiology of the body. Because why? At that time, okay, they wanted to know how we could improve the human population, okay, the human performance, okay, in terms of many things, okay, in terms of doing something, in terms of maybe sports or whatnot, right? So this is where they started to study on the human body. right? So this is where we do have the Vitruvian Man, Vitruvian Man. You can just Google what is Vitruvian Man. So this is where Leonardo da Vinci came up with all these drawings and whatnot, right? However, if you do know Ibn Sina, anyone knowing who is Ibn Sina?
Yes, sir.
Who is this? Who is Ibn Sina?
Ilmuwan.
Yes, ilmuwan dalam bidang.
Perubatan adik.
Yes, dalam bidang perubatan. Okay, dalam bidang perubatan. So we do have an Islamic scholar, Ibn Sina, okay, whereby right, his work, his writing, his drawing, okay, is more into the medicine field, right? He has his anatomy drawings and whatnot. So this is where we do have the clash of knowledge, whether Leonardo da Vinci was the first man producing all this anatomy, or he got all those things from the work of Ibn Sina. All right. So again, why do people study about people? Because we need to know about our people. Right? We need to know about our people. Okay. If you look into your susogalo keturunan, maybe you'll be surprised that you were from one ethnic or one race, okay, from another continent. Maybe. I'm just giving a general opinion, yeah. Right? So same as this, okay. So why we need to learn about people, okay, we call it anthropology, okay, about the human race, okay, the human behavior or not, because we always want to provide our people, we want to provide the people in that population is something so that they become much more better in terms of performance, in terms of maybe health, in terms of many things, okay, in terms of doing something and whatnot. Right, so this is where both Ibn Sina and Leonardo da Vinci studies about the human body, so that they can come up with something, anything, something that can help the human to be much better. Right. So if you look into the directions of ergonomics in the Europe, okay, so basically, it started with the work of physiology, okay, that was somehow being not introduced, being applied, okay, within the First World War, okay, World War I. Okay, so this is where they look into the human factors, But at that time, human factors and ergonomic is not yet introduced the terminology. Right, so we do have this psychotechnology, okay, which involve the testing of certain person, okay, to look into their ability, into their performance, okay, for certain things. Okay, so this is what happened in Europe, and then in the North Africa, okay, also during the First World War, okay, this is where they have this intelligence testing, okay, or screening of recruits, okay. For certain recruits, they must have this certain intelligence. Right? If not, so maybe at the war field, maybe they cannot make decisions and make correct decisions or make very fast decisions upon certain scenario or certain condition, okay, because they are not somehow they don't have this intelligence, right? And then there's another what do you call it? Another not factor, not another. It is about like another study, okay, whereby so another application, okay, whereby in North America they do have this industrial psychology, okay, that is related to the Hawthorne effect. Okay, so you can Google what is the Hawthorne effect, right? So basically, it is looking into the mental that is of the human, okay, the emotions, okay, at that time, right? So when it comes to the 50s, right? So this is where, you know, the US and the British, they have this conflict, not conflict of interest, maybe conflict of mind, maybe, whereby they normally don't agree upon one thing together. Okay, so this normal until now. So when the UK introduces something, the US will introduce something. It is basically the same, but it has different names or different functions or whatnot, right? So if the US introduces something, so at the end of the day, the UK people will also introduce something. Okay? They just want to win this race, basically, to show that they are much better than other people, right? So that just put that side. But in the 50s, right? So this is where maybe all these people in the ergonomics area, all these economists, okay, maybe they have sit down together one day, and maybe they discuss, hey, we need one terminology, we need one name that could reflect what we are doing now. Okay, what we are doing now towards the human, okay, towards the benefits for the human. Okay, so this is where the term of ergonomics was first proposed, okay, in the 50s, right? And basically it is being taken, okay, from the Greek word that is the ergon and also nomos. All right? Any questions so far? So this is where how did the terminology came into the pool of knowledge. All right. In the US, okay, basically in the 50s also, okay, in the late 50s, okay, they rejected ergonomics, okay, and they used human factors, you know, because of this conflict, right? Sebenarnya sama saja, ergonomics and human factors is the same thing. But you know, US, they want to be a bit different. Okay, if China do something, so they will do it again. So they want to be a bit different. You know, US, they always want to win everything. So this is where they came up with human factors. Okay, and maybe human engineering. All right. So this is where in 1992, okay, one of the society. Okay, so in the US, they wanted to rename their society from human factors society to human factors and ergonomics society. Right? How about in Malaysia? So in Malaysia, we do have our own ergonomic society, okay, that is called the HFEM, Human Factors and Ergonomic Society Malaysia, right? And basically this society, okay, is within the CNS organization, okay, Southeast Asian Network of Ergonomic Society. So basically, every country in the world basically has their own ergonomics organization or ergonomic society. Okay, and all these society are being controlled or being governed under the IEA, International Ergonomics Association. Right, so here in Malaysia we do have this, okay, right, and then why do we need this network? Why do we need this organization? Okay, because we would like to share our findings with other countries, so that they can also share what they have found with us, with respect to the human operator, with respect to the population, with respect to the people. Okay, so this is where, when we share all these inputs, okay, we somehow could make the lives of other people's much more better. Right? So just a bit brief of the HFPM. So it is being established on March 8, 2011. Okay. However, it is being registered, okay, in 2010. And it is being founded and first being attempt to make this society in 2007. Who was the pioneer? So the pioneer is Professor Dr. Halimatun and her husband, okay, Professor Martin Helander, right? Martin Helander. So Professor Martin is one of the former president of IEA. One former. So dia buat salih lah. So Kuala is in Malaysia lah, Melayu kita, right? So so this is where they started to initiate this HFEM society in Malaysia, so that we do have a society that caters for economics issues or economics matters here in Malaysia, right? So what do we do? So we do lots of things. Okay, it is interdisciplinary, right? And basically the members here in the HFEM is a voluntary basis, okay, membership, right? Means that you are not being paid, you need to pay the membership, yes, but you're not being paid to be a member, okay, but we seek for your expertise, right? We seek for your effort, to spread the awareness, safety, and also comfort to the Malaysian people, right? Can you hear me? Can you follow me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is what we do in HFEM, right? So we do have lots of activities here. Okay, so you can somehow browse the what do you call it, the website. Sorry. Okay. So Ergonomics now, okay, today and moving forward, it is growing, okay, and it is changing the world basically. Okay, for example, now if you look at certain application or certain products, let's say mattress or maybe chairs or office chair, whatnot, they have this keyword or tagline, okay, that most of the companies use is what? Okay, this product is ergonomically designed. Means that the design secara ergonomic. Okay, secara ergonomic. Because why, when people now hear about ergonomic, they will always they will put in mind that this fits our body. It's good for the human. Okay, it could give you good health. Okay, by using this particular product and whatnot. All these things. All right. So because of the awareness has been increased, okay, maybe now, for example, you guys, right? You all maybe figured something that you have done previously before you know about ergonomics, before you learn about ergonomics. Okay, maybe the past years you haven't even heard what is ergonomics. Okay? But today, when you have learned about ergonomics, okay, about how does ergonomics is related to the daily schedule or daily works of a person, right? Maybe you will say, oh, the thing that I did during my maybe primary school, maybe my secondary school, okay, maybe my higher tertiary education period, okay. So maybe that was something that I did that has something related to economics, but at that time I did not know what is economics, right? I do believe you do have that. Okay, anyone would like to share? Anyone would like to share any experience? It's something that you did maybe a long time ago, but that time you haven't learned about economics yet. You haven't heard about what is economics, okay? But you did something that managed to to ease your work, or maybe to give you much more comfort, or maybe to avoid any accidents or whatnot. Okay, and somehow if you are recalling that thing back now, and then you will say, oh, that was an ergonomic intervention. There was an ergonomic effort to increase something or not. Anyone would like to share? Anyone would like to share any experience of yours? Okay, dah pukul 3 ni, ngantuk-ngantuk ni, right? Maybe we could chat a bit. Anyone would like to share any experience? Anyone, please? Yes, who's this?
Farid, sir.
Yes, Farid. What would you like to share?
When I'm playing games.
Okay, when was that?
What?
When was that? When you were playing games?
I think every day, sir.
Every day, right? Okay, every day. So what do you do?
I will sit at the chair.
Okay.
It's a normal chair,
Okay.
but my back always feel not. It's like tak selesa.
Okay, lengoh lah, lengoh, tak selesa, right? Okay, right, okay.
So I put a pillow.
You put a pillow, right? So was that because of you know, oh, putting a pillow is much more ergonomic? Was that because of that?
Yes, sir.
Have you heard about ergonomics before previously?
No.
No. Okay. So that action was that action is because you know it is ergonomics.
Because I think the pillow is soft, so it can help my back.
Okay, right. So, but not because of ergonomics, right? Maybe you haven't heard about ergonomics technology yet at that time, right?
Yes, I just know ergonomic this same.
Yes. So maybe that is a logical thinking, a direct effect, okay, of trying to make yourself much more comfortable. So you're putting a pillow on it, okay, on your back, right? But after you take this course of ergonomics, maybe, right? Maybe you would know where to put it exactly, where you should put the pillow exactly. Should you sit on the pillow? Should you put it at the back of your body, just above your buttocks, okay, or just at your waist, or just at your upper middle back, right? So where you should put it, right? So maybe after knowing all these, you know, your lumbar, right, your back, okay, the bones and whatnot. So maybe after this, you could put it somewhere that it makes you much more comfortable compared to just putting a pillow at your back. All right. This is where basically, okay, people have already applied ergonomics. Okay, they have already applied, but they do not know that it's ergonomic. They do not know that it's related to ergonomics. Is it right? So they do not know about it. Okay, but they're trying to do something so that it makes you yourself much more comfortable, right? Okay, that's good. Right. Okay, any others? Any others would like to share your experience? I'll be sharing my experience after this. Okay, any others would like to share your experience? Any others? Are you with me? Anyone? Maybe the ladies would like to share. Are you hearing me, or am I lagging? I'm not sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes.
So how about the ladies? Are the ladies here? Ke dah pergi bazar Ramadan dah? Ke dah start masak dah nak buka puasa dia? Anyone? Fatin Nabila, are you here?
Yes.
Sorry, Fatin, ingat nama awak je. So any experience have you encountered previously? Maybe during your childhood, maybe at that time for sure you haven't heard about what is ergonomics. Tak tahu benda ergonomics ni. But have you happened to experience something that you did to make your work much more easier or better or whatnot? Anything?
I guess when I was at the primary school,
Right.
so we have the computer lab.
Okay.
So there's a chair that we can move upside down. So I
Move
guess
upside down.
upside down. I mean, like we can the level. We can control the level, the chair at the computer lab. Hello.
Okay, right. Yes, we're hearing you.
So I guess that it doesn't mean anything. Just that for fun. But then it's actually to control our body posture so that it can same level with the table that we use, something like that.
So at that time, maybe you were thinking this is something, wow, it's fun, so that you can go up and down, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you don't know what's the purpose of it at that time, right? So yes, it is for you to somehow set what is the height of the seat pan, okay, so that you are comfortably sit on the seat, right? Okay, right. Any others? Thank you, Batin. Any others? Any others would like to share? Maybe something this about seat, right? Maybe something a bit more complex, maybe. Right? Mungkin zaman-zaman bulan puasa ke, anything that somehow you did something, okay, so that it makes you, anything. Mungkin something related to bulan puasa ke, raya ke, main mercun ke, right? Alright, anyone would like to add? Okay, I'll just share my experience. This is what I shared yesterday also, right? So normally, when you get a bottle of, chili sauce, okay, chili or tomato sauce, okay, from the supermarket or whatnot. Then you go back home and then you want to open the cap, okay, or cap of a jam in a glass jar. Okay, you want to open it, and you happen to have some problem opening it because it is too tight. It is airtight, right? So you have some problem to open that cap, basically, okay? Especially for chili sauce or tomato sauce bottles, okay, or jams, okay? Basically glass bottle with an aluminium cap, right? So what do you normally do? What do you normally do to open it? Anyone?
And running it back.
Any idea?
What again, sir?
What do you normally do when you want to open a cap, bottle cap, a chili sauce bottle cap, right? And it is tight. It is too tight. You can't open it. Okay, besides, you let another person that is much more stronger to open it. Okay, so what normally you do to open that particular bottle cap? Anyone experiencing this? This is a normal thing at the kitchen. What do you do?
Put a cloth on the cap.
So well.
Put a cloth on the cap, right? Okay. Others, I heard about boiling water, something like that.
Back in action then, and the onus is on the
Is it?
boxes to erase the damage done by that concession.
Put the bottle inside the boiling water, right? Maybe others. Anyone?
Dalla. The
Say
Foxes
again?
moving the ball forward. What can they do from here?
Put a rubber band, right? Good. That's good.
Well, there to intercept.
Others? Yesterday, there's one student said they burn the cap. They put it on the stove, okay, and to make
It might
the
be
cap
on for them.
expand a bit,
And will
okay,
it
so
be
that it is much easier for them to open it. Okay, then there's another student said that normally she will take a knife, okay, just to make a small opening, just to release the air tight, okay, inside the bottle, okay, just to make macam dia ompel sikit lah, dia ompel cap, okay, just to make this cap a bit loose before they start to open it.
Osborne.
Right. So if this is the type of question being asked in the test, right? So most of the question, most of the answers are correct, okay, including putting it in the boiling water, putting the cap on the stove, okay, burn it, just to make it a bit more expanded, okay, or warm it, okay, just using a knife to just make a small opening on it, right? But again, if you relate it to ergonomics, is it safe? This is the question, right? So we are looking into accurate answer, right? Although it is correct, right? Tapi we are not trying to go for, we call this matlamat menghalalkan cara, right? So what happens is, what I did is put a rubber band. Okay, ini memang klasik lah. Okay, beside put rubber band, we can use a tablecloth, right? Tablecloth. Because why it is somehow slippery, okay, so putting a tablecloth, okay, using a tablecloth, put it on the cap and then try to open it, so you're trying to create some friction on it, right? But what I normally do, this is my experience, what I normally do, I put a rubber band, okay, tie it a few times onto the cap, and then I will grip the rubber band on the cap and then we'll twist the cap, okay, counterclockwise, and most of the time it works. Okay? More time it works. Okay, because what you are trying to put more grip, right? So you are creating a grip. Grip for whom? Grip for your hands, right? So size of the hand, grip, okay, the strength of the grip. So this is elements of ergonomics, right? And the second one, using a rubber band, is much more safer compared to put it on the stove, okay, heating up the cap, or put the bottle into a boiling water, right? So these are the things. Okay, if you put let's say if you put the cap on the stove, right? So it will heat up, right? Maybe the bottle will heat up also. The glass bottle will heat up also. So you will not be able to open it directly after hitting the cap. Am I correct? Right. So you are at the kitchen. What do? This is reflex action. So normally to cool it down, you put it under the water. What happens? This is basic science. What happens? You put it under the water.
Much more straightforward for the keeper this time.
Not slippery. The hot cap, hot bottle, glass bottle, you put it under water. What happens? It will definitely crack. Okay, dia akan pecah lah. Dia akan retak. Retak. Dah tak boleh makan the whole bottle of sauce, chili sauce or ketchup. Right? So these are the things. Okay, these are the types of answers that we are looking for when you are answering the questions for your test, right? Yes, this subject, the question is something that you can somehow think of. Okay, there's no right and wrong, but we are looking for the most accurate answers based on the ergonomics principle, right? So this is where my experience, okay, there's lots of other experience also, right? There's lots of other experience. For example, this is something that I think everyone does it. Okay, when I was in my primary school, right? So when my mom buy us, okay, our school uniform, right? So normally our moms, I'm not sure lah your mom, but at my time, our moms at that time, they will always buy one size bigger of uniform, school uniform, one size bigger. Why is that? Why is that normally?
Well read to pressure.
Yes, because we can use it the next year. Jimat lah kan, zaman-zaman dulu. Ni kan. Okay, kalau pakai keluar our pants, okay, maybe we don't have any brands at that time, okay. So sekolah pun siapa yang pakai palas tu kira dah kayangan lah tu, right? Bangsawan lah tu, right? Pakai Sparks, jenis Spark. So Spark is already is still in the market or not. Spark, itu kira termasuk bangsawan lah, right? But now you can get Diadora. I stole my going to buy my kids school shoes, and then we have Diadora. So Diadora is one of the sports attire for most of the football boots lah. But they have school shoes. Okay. Misalnya we have Converse. Itu dah kira kalau zaman dulu tu kira bangsawan lah tu, right? So our moms normally they will buy the size much more one size bigger. Because why? Because we can use it next year. So jimat lah. But the problem is, what's the problem? It is somehow much more bigger at the waist and also much more longer at the bottom. Right? So what do? We will fold it maybe 2 or 3 times and then we will sew it. Okay, kita akan jahit lah. So next year we will open satu lipatan lah. The coming years we will open the other lipatan. So boleh pakai 2-3 tahun. Right? So this is an act of ergonomic also. We are trying to fit the job to the man. Okay, we are trying to fit the clothes to the man. Alright, so this is where indirectly we have already applied ergonomics, but at that time we do not know. Okay, we do not know about ergonomics. Okay, any questions so far? Any questions? No, okay, right. So I think you can relate, and there's lots of things you can relate, since your childhood until now. Okay. Because at that time, do you know MacGyver? Have you heard about MacGyver? Who is MacGyver?
Yes.
Tak ada benda. Right, MacGyver at that time, MacGyver was very, very famous. Right? At my time, I was to school dah, right? So we always watch MacGyver every night during the siaran, because we want to see what is his next innovation. Okay, right? So at that time, everyone wants to innovate everything. Okay, benda yang dah okay boleh nak innovate juga. Okay, because why? Because they want to make it much more better. Okay, so it can help the human when they're using it much more comfortable. But who's this? Anyone would like to talk? Anyone would like to say? Right. So this is where indirectly at that time we already have applied ergonomics, okay, except that we haven't learned, okay, or know, okay, the terminology of ergonomics at that time. Okay. Right, so by now I think now you have already known about this, so it is your turn, okay, to make sure that when you do something, it is related to ergonomics. Is where you need to follow all the necessary requirements, maybe the anthropometric, maybe the body size, right? Maybe the population percentiles, okay, all these things, okay, so that it becomes much more feasible and also much more viable. Okay, right, so can we take a 5 minutes break? It's 30 minutes past 3, so we will continue back at 3:25. Is that possible?
Almada.
Yes, sir.
Defensive efficiency
So
for
I'll see you back at 3:25,
Bodies
and
forward and the break looks
we'll
on.
continue the rest of the
Will it be sufficiently
slides
imaginative?
after this. Right,
Another
so
example of a
we'll have a break for a while,
counter-attack
and I'll
that
be
went
stop recording this session. So see you back at
Possession again with the boxes.
3:25. Right? Thank you very much.
Can they create something from here? Nasser Chamed. Bartos. That is a very fine challenge in difficult circumstances. Well, it's come down to the final 20 minutes here. Oh, what an opportunity! Well, that is not an example of how to chip accurately.
Well, sometimes, Derek, you can be too clever. And he was trying to be too clever there.
Chamed. Making excellent progress with the ball at his feet. And thwarting his opponent in the nick of time. Not problematic for the keeper. Ulises Rivas. Almada. And the counter-attack is on. Options available. Not the pass he had in mind. Singh. Read it well. Good movement. Well, that's how to put in a clean tackle. Difficult to stop him. Bartos. Well, taken away. He won the ball. And they could face difficulties here. Couldn't keep it. Bartos. Now the attack fizzled out.
Well, they haven't been at their best today, that's for sure, but this game is far from over, and the fans are certainly reminding them of that.
And he might be through here. Oh, a goal! An equaliser at the closing stages.
Well, this is worth another look, Derek. Lovely movement and guile to easily evade the defender, and he takes full advantage of the time he's given. It's an accomplished finish too.
Dan. And Ben Osborne has it. Modu Barrow. And they'll get ready for the throw-in. Wallace. Garcia. Nasser Chamin. And the search goes on for a winner. Time is tight. Can they forge ahead? And still an opportunity. And a time for composure on the ball. 1 minute of stoppage time has been added on. Oh, it's gone in! And you have to feel for him now. It will go down as an own goal. So, an own goal, and now they are chasing this game. And that is that. The referee blows his whistle for full time.
Okay, welcome back. I hope everyone is back. Okay, get a cup of coffee pun tak boleh kan puasa ni. Right, so is everyone back here with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll be finishing our first chapter lah today. Okay, right. Okay, where were I now? Okay, so we're sharing the slides. So I've recorded the session again, okay, for the second half of the lecture today. Where is it? Okay, right. I think you can see the screen. Okay, so basically we are looking into the okay, how does ergonomics evolve from the root origins of the field, okay, until we have certain applications specific for ergonomics, right? So we look at the origins, the development, and also the applications here, right? So basically, when we refer back to Ibn Sina, when we refer back to Leonardo da Vinci, okay, everything started with the study of the human body, with the anatomy of the human body, right? From there, people, okay, scientists, researchers started to learn about muscles, started to learn about the bones, okay, started to learn about the the organs and whatnot, right? So this is where it is much more related to the study of this anatomy, medicine, okay, health sciences, right? So that's why when ergonomics and human factors and ergonomics is being introduced, okay, into our faculty, okay, towards the engineering students, right? So the acceptance was a bit not negative, but a bit lower. They were asking, engineering students needs to learn about this. Right? And then we happened to offer this course, Ergonomic Design to Faculty Science Gunaan students, FSG, Applied Science students, right? Well, they are also somehow related to science, related to human. But last semester or last previous semester, we offered this course also to students at FSPU, Faculty Science, FSPU. What is FSPU? FSPU, Science Faculty Sembina, dan UKO, right? So they are building, they are designing buildings. So they need to learn ergonomic. Right? They need to learn all these, areas that originates mostly from the medical part, right? So it's not because we are going to learn about, about the organs and whatnot. We are trying to look into the human behavior and social characteristics so that this FSP student could design a building that is friendly to the human, in terms of the lightings, in terms of the air conditioning, in terms of the air circulation, in terms of the height of the ceiling, in terms of height of the door, and many things, the escape, the exit, emergency exit route, the stairs, the design of the stairs, and all these things. Because why? Because in the building there will always be humans, and when there's human, they must be doing something, and where they are doing it, they are doing it in the building. So this is where they need to learn. Somehow it is indirectly related to ergonomics, to the FSPU student. Right, can you follow me?
And that's an important intervention.
Right. After having this origin, so this is where there's lots of development, of areas of research, areas of knowledge, that originated from all these areas. So when we do have all these anatomy, orthopedics, medicine, whatnot, so this is where there's a field, of studies, that studies on the human anthropometry, the body size, the biomechanics, the movements of the body. Right. When you learn on design last semester, previously, and also during MSc 45, we do have this adaptation concept. We adapt or design based from the flora or also from the fauna. Based from maybe certain animals, maybe from certain wildlife. Tumbuhan, whatnot, right? The flora. Because why? Because from adapting what they are doing, we are designing something for the usage of the like the aeroplane. The aeroplane, the right by the.
This looks promising. Lovely incisive pass.
That a bird is something that flies, and they fly using their wings. So we need to design something that has wings. Right, that has wings. So they made a lot of attempts to build up this first flying aircraft, right? And upon the technological advancement, upon having lots of research on it, so this is where from that wing, people started to look into aerodynamics.
This might be the perfect
aerodynamics. And we learned about fluid, is it? You are going to learn about aerodynamics. So basically, not only the wings, but the design of the wings must be aerodynamics. Because why? Because it has to do something with the high pressure and also low pressure of the air that is being produced from the wings that cause lift to the aircraft. So this is where things are being related. But the first thing it originated from, the idea came from the birds. From the birds, whereby birds fly using wings. Right. So
Attacking options appear
this is
plentiful.
where comes or lots of field, okay, merges, okay, to cater for all these origins knowledge, right?
Almada.
Right? Anything? Anyone? Someone is switching on his microphone. Anything to share?
What an opportunity!
Okay, or maybe you accidentally switch on your mic. Right? So this is where we do have biomechanics, work physiology, okay, natural hygiene, okay, safety and health, okay, many more. Right? And then when we do have all these areas, right? This is where, okay, engineers, researchers, scientists, okay, anyone, okay, I can say the human people, okay, started to come up with many applications to suit all these area field of knowledge, right? So this is where we do have lots of applications, okay, that involve industrial engineering, bioengineering, okay, safety engineering, military, CAD and whatnot, okay, because why? Because everything rooted or originated from all these origins area of knowledge, right? So if you look back, okay, on all these, what do you see? You will see a human in it, and you will always see a human in it, and he or she is doing something, and he or she is doing that particular thing basically in a workplace, okay, right? So this is the basically the description of this diagram just now, right? So this is where we do have this basic or classic
goals and plentiful supply. 4-1
area, okay, area of knowledge, okay, sciences, okay, that somehow relates to the human body, okay, the anatomy, physiology, medicine, okay, psychology, all these things, right? And from these, okay, fundamental knowledge, okay, emerges, okay, all these disciplines or area of fields and area of knowledge, okay, the developments of these disciplines, okay, that is related to ergonomics, okay, in terms of anthropometry, okay, biomechanics, like work physiology and many more.
They have possession again.
Right? Because here you do see the people, okay, the body itself. Here you do see the man in it, and this is where you do see the application, the man doing the job in it. Right? So you have all these elements together. So this is where you do see you need to consider ergonomics in that particular condition, okay, or situation, okay, or anything, right? So that when that human operator is doing that particular work in that particular workplace or environment, okay, he or she will be safe, he will be comfortable, he will be able to perform efficiently, okay, and maybe increase their performance. Alright, so that is all for the first lecture, okay, for the first lecture for chapter 1 basically. Alright, so I'd like to give just afterwards just a normal short brief of what we are going to look next week. Okay, next week we'll be going into chapter 2. Right? So in chapter 2 basically, right? Chapter 2 basically, okay, we are looking into the anatomical body of the human. Okay, we'll look into a bit of the human body structure and also the biomechanics. Right? So in chapter 1, basically, we've covered what is basically ergonomics. Okay, I do believe now you have the idea what is basically ergonomics. When should we, or when we need to consider ergonomics? Okay, and what is the importance of ergonomics, basically, right? Okay. And then, okay, can someone name me one product that is not ergonomically designed? Anything?
The visitors are struggling with possession.
Anyone?
Really.
Like to share? Are you with me? Right. So anyone would like to share? Okay. We'll just throw out any. Just give a general guess. Okay. Name me one product that you think it is not ergonomically designed.
Restart the game and only one team in it.
Anything?
And 30
Say again?
minutes left for play in this match.
Marble. Gully. Alright. So what's wrong with the gully?
Great opportunity.
This is interesting. Say again?
Lethal piece of finishing.
Di kelas tertentu je.
Conviction.
Right.
Tremendous goal.
But can I say that
What a scoreline
the
we've
marble
seen
is
all that
being
often.
designed just to
5-3.
have a nice size so that it fits your grip, fits your hands, right? Okay.
Hamilton.
Do you have
Vidra.
many size? Biasa main guli kan? Guli
How far from the
paling
ideal
right.
pass,
So normally
you've got to
we have
say.
the same size, right? Kalau zaman-zaman dulu sambil guli macam mana?
Sing.
Yang besar sikit.
Dia besar sikit, is it? But normally when we play guli ni biasa size dia sama kan. Yang besar tu
Not so.
bukan besar, satu lagi the colour is white. Guli susu panggil. Guli king. Kan? Right, okay, marble, okay. Others, anyone would like to give
It did look on for them, but not to me.
maybe during your childhood? Okay, nowadays most of the product are
A really
ergonomically designed.
sumptuous ball.
Okay, most of
He
the
might
products.
profit from
But
here, you
maybe
know.
you found out something that is not ergonomically designed.
Attempted. Competence
Okay.
from the keeper.
Yeah, concentration for goalkeepers. He was spot on there.
Do you know a
Well,
sharpener?
listen to that roar, Derek. They need a goal for
Sharpener
sure.
biasa.
Can they
Sharpener.
get it from this
Peraut,
corner?
peraut. Peraut.
Good work to win
So
it back high
it
on
is
the
being
pitch.
designed to be small to fit in any type of
Well,
marble,
visionary
to pencil,
passing.
but not right.
And space
Okay,
for the Raiders in the
so
wide
it is
position.
small, so you can grip it properly, right? Grip it properly. So it is somehow being designed to fit a normal,
It's a massive
kids,
lead, and it's very
hands,
hard
to
to
grip
imagine them losing it now.
the sharpener and to sharp the pencils, right? So maybe it is according to the grip of the hand,
Ulises
but
Vidas.
to make it much more
And they trouble
ergonomic,
the opposition
okay,
this time.
maybe you can see nowadays we have a curved type of sharpener with all these
Committed challenge.
what do you call it, line
Saw the
features,
situation
to give
developing.
a much better grip, okay, to the users,
Something to worry
right?
about
And
here.
now much more advanced, not much more advanced, much advanced sharpener. We do have this
No, it's not about the
what do you
goalkeeper.
call
It's
that?
about that poor effort. That really
The
is
sharpener that we
awful.
can put it inside. We can rotate the lever, right? What do you call that type of sharpness?
It might be on for them. Oh, a lovely ball.
Tahu kan
It
sharpener
just
yang tu
needs
kan,
to
right?
remain
So
icy
there's
cold.
one below there,
Incredible
so you can pick it up and you
instinctive
can
Yeah, he didn't have long to react, did he? You have to praise his
the sharp
reflexes there.
The
pencil,
keeper
right?
was up to the task.
And then
Well,
a much more
it's
advanced
effort,
one,
but it's a
okay,
real
we do have this
opportunity goes
automated
begging there.
sharpener.
It hasn't come to
Okay,
very much.
so you put in a battery in it, so it is
Derek
easy to grip.
Kuteza.
It is a bit a bit bigger, right? But it is much more easier. You just put
Weah.
your pencil in it, push it down, and then it
That
starts
takes
to
the wind out
sharp
of their
your
sails. Great defending.
pencils
Can
automatically,
they
right?
hit
So
on
these
the
are
break?
the evolutions, okay, from a simple sharpener to a high-end sharpener.
Well, they might
So
be
it
onto
basically
something. Will he
helps,
find the net?
it basically helps the users, okay, perform the work, sharpening the pencils much more easier, much more faster.
Well, it's been such a
Right.
one-sided game.
But how about
You
in
just
terms of
wonder how many
safety?
more they can
How about in
add.
terms of comfort? Did it actually increase?
Inside the final
Do you think
5 minutes now.
did it actually increase the safety for the users or the comfort for the users using this type normal type of normal sharpness
And he did
compared
well
to
to cut it
the
out.
automated sharpness?
Well, that
Any
pass
idea?
easy on the eye and failed to keep himself onside, unfortunately.
Any idea? Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Rivas.
Right, any idea? So we do have a lot of people
Sanchez.
here. Let's look
There.
at No
Oh,
Sabrina.
big
Where's No Sabrina? Are you here, No Sabrina? Kita pergi bazar Ramadan lah.
Oh, the crossbar is still reverberating.
Right. So in terms of using that type of sharpener, right, from the simple sharpener to the one that I said just now, the high-end one, does it somehow increase the safety of the user, somehow increase the comfort of the user?
An attempt like, and there goes the final whistle. Not the result the fans were
I'm
hoping
not
for.
pretty sure, but as in for the time saving, I guess it will be much more efficient.
Okay, much more efficient. Okay, have you ever sharpened pencils?
Yeah, I do.
One pencil maybe? How about a bunch of pencils? Okay, like my case, I have 4 kids. Three kids are at school. So every, let's say once a month. Okay, so I need to sharpen pencils, or they need to sharpen their own pencils. They have a bunch of pencil colors normally, right? So what happens using a normal sharpener? What happens to their fingers? They will get blister, melecet, right? They'll get blister, melecet, right? So what they do, they use this type. I bought this type of sharpener, pusing, right? Pusing, right? But again, lenguh kata, right? Penat. So I bought another type of sharpener that is much more easier, the one that is automated. So they just put in the pencils into the pencil slot. So this is where you can see, right? This is where you can see how redesigning or innovating this particular type of sharpener, okay, somehow increases, okay, the safety, the comfort, time saving, efficiency, performance, right? To whom? To the user, right? So this is where indirectly ergonomics are also being considered in the design. Okay, so your test 1, test 2, okay, the questions will be something like this, and then we are looking into justifications that are accurate, okay, that are somehow being related to the principles of ergonomics. Okay, before we wrap up for this session, right, I would like to share just a brief introduction of chapter 2, okay, what you will be expecting next week in chapter 2, right? So we'll be looking into, okay, we are going to look into the anatomical and mechanical structure of the human body, right? So we are looking into the body dimensions, okay, because human beings are different from one another. You yourself are different from your own left and also right hands, left and also left ears, left and also right eyes, your legs and whatnot, right? So this is where we need to have some body dimension, or we call it the human anthropometry, right? And then after looking into body dimensions, we are going to look into the biomechanics. Okay, how does the human body works? How does the human body moves? Okay, what moves your body? Okay, what moves your limbs? What moves your hands, basically, right? So this is where we do have a frame in our body, the skeleton body, okay, whereby these skeletons are being supported, okay, by muscles, okay, and this is where the muscles, okay, that moves basically your hands, your legs, your limbs, basically, right? Whether it contracts or it is in a relaxed condition, right? So this is where we look into something like this. This is the muscle, okay, D is the muscles, okay, we do have the tendon here, okay, this basically whether it is a tendon or the ligament, right? And we do have the muscles, okay, we do have the joints, okay, the joints here, and upon having a load here, right? So this is where how does this muscle contracts or relax, okay, to move this particular arm here. Okay, so this is what we are going to expect. Okay, not in detail. Don't worry, we are not going in detail about the human anatomy. Just to know several parts, several body regions. Okay, that is somehow important to know about biomechanics, basically. Right, so this is where you can see the humerus bone here. We have the radius and ulnar bones here. We have the muscles here, right? So this joint here acts as a fulcrum, right? So this is where when you see, we call that backhoe, or case only backhoe, is it? Okay, jentera yang korek tu. Okay, so the concept of that is somehow being adapted from our hands here. Okay, because you do have see the bones here. So these are the linkages of the backhoe, and then we have the muscles to contract or to relax, to move up and down. Okay, our arm here, forearm here, right? But for a backhoe, what do they use? They use a hydraulic cylinder. Okay, hydraulic cylinder. Okay, and in the hydraulic cylinder, normally they have this the stroke of the cylinder, whether it it extends outwards or it extend outwards, and what is the opposite? Dia masuk ke dalam. Okay, the stroke of the hydraulic cylinder, right? So via this action, via this movement, this is where you can see the linkages of the backhoe's arm is moving, right? Digging the dirt and whatnot, right? And when you look into biomechanics also, this is where now sports scientists have now used technology, okay, to study about athletes, sportsmen, somehow increase their performance using technological advancement, by looking into the human or the athlete's biomechanics, right? Without having to consume any drugs or supplements, right? So this is where next week I will share with you about biomechanics of Usain Bolt. And I think you do know who is Usain Bolt, okay? The fastest man on the world, okay, that had won many Olympic gold medalists, 100 meters gold medalists, okay, Olympian gold medalist 100 meters, right? So sports scientists started to study what makes Usain Bolt the fastest man on the world, right? Running 100 meter sprint, right? So this is where they studied about his legs, his muscle, about his trajectory. Okay, all these are related to the biomechanics of Usain Bolt, right? So from this biomechanics, this is where we could design something, okay, to increase the performance of the athletes, okay, like swimming suits, right? So normally you do see the early years of Olympics, right? When we have this swimming acara renang beriram, renang 100 meters or 50 meters like that. So normally the swimmers will only wear swimming trunks, right? Without wearing any bodysuit, right? But now you can see, okay, some of the swimmers, okay, are using swimsuits. Okay, even the male swimmers, because why? The swimsuits are being designed, okay, so that it replicates the skin of fishes, okay, in the sea, right? So that they can somehow reduce the drag, reduce the friction between the water and also the body of the swimmer, okay, so that they can glide or they can swim much more faster, even though it only increases 0.1 second, okay, because in a race like that, 0.1 second is very, very significant. Alright, so this is what we are going to expect next week. Okay, maybe you could download the notes, okay, much more earlier, okay, and then you can just give a short preliminary reading of the notes, okay, so that during the sessions like this, okay, you can somehow, ask questions. Okay, any questions so far?
Dan.
What? Any questions so far?
Plenty of options.
Okay, we'll be having another session this week, this Thursday, right, for the second lab session, right? So hopefully you have started your first lab discussion, right, about the first SLM machine, SLM equipment, and then again I would like to remind you, okay, to you that all the equipments, okay, every equipment must be the report for every grade must be done by only one student, right? Because that report will reflect his or her marks for the lab, the 10% lab assignment. So assignment is basically the lab report. Okay. All right. Anything you'd like to ask? Say again, Amazam?
Not looking confident in possession.
Report SLM.
Yes, SLM. Yes, Amazam. What is it?
Untuk data collected tu, kita kena cari sendiri ke ataupun kita ambil daripada case study orang lain?
Okay, the data collected is from the case study, from the papers, because you are not able to take data, right? You nak ambil data macam mana kan? Because you are where are you now? Terengganu. So how is it possible for you to come to take the data here using the SLM machine at the faculty? So that's why you need to look for journals, okay, paper journals from reliable sources. Okay, and in those journals there will be data. There will be data on noise, right? So that data that you are going to use to report in your lab report. Okay, Sam?
Kan ada dua case study kan, so
yes.
Kan ambil satu lah kan.
No, you need to produce two. You need to take two case study. So for example, one case study is at one of the factory, Cadbury factory, section 15, for example. Okay, they are taking the noise at the let's say the packaging area in the Cadbury factory, right? And another case study, another paper, they are doing a research at, let's say, Toyota assembly line, right? On these two data, so you need to compare. Anything that you would like to compare, whether the noise level, okay, what they do, for example, okay, which one is much more dangerous, okay, whether is it at Toyota or is it at Cadbury. So anything, I would like to see how you analyze this data and what are the critics or what are the comments that you put into these two. That's why you need to have two, because I want you to compare these two data. Is that clear, Azam? Yes, no problem. But I need to know where's the venue. If it is overseas, right? So you need to include where that particular research is being conducted, right? And also you need to include the picture, right? So if it is here in Malaysia, maybe you can find it lah. But if it is overseas and then you try to Google it, it's not there. So you need to somehow use Google Map or Google Street View. They put in the address. Maybe sometimes they put the address of the venue for the research. So you can use that, okay, just to show, oh, this is where the the research is being conducted. Okay. Right. So for example, you are doing it at restaurants. Okay, one at McDonald's, one at KFC. Right, so you want to know what is the level of noise at these both fast food restaurants, right? So you need to have two papers, one paper on McDonald's, one paper on KFC. Then those two papers, definitely there will be data on the sound, right? Noise. You need to present all these sounds. So this is the data for McD, this is data for KFC. Right? And then in the discussion, this is where you discuss anything that you would like to discuss. Maybe which one is much more louder, which one is much more safer. Okay, due to this loud noise, what did this particular company did for the workers? What did this particular company did for their workers? Right? What are the interventions? And let's say there's no intervention, so you could suggest your intervention. So maybe particular company could provide earmuff, okay, to the workers. Okay, this is the example of the earmuff. Tunjuklah gambar earmuff, jangan cakap saja. Okay, tunjuk gambar earmuff. Maybe you would like to suggest specific earmuff, ataupun dipanggil apa? Yang sumbat telinga tu, right? So earplug, yes. Thank you very much. Earplug, okay, specific earplug. This type of specific earplug, okay, with maybe a detailed description of the earplug, right? So this is where your marks will differ in terms of that. Okay, if you just suggest, okay, for this particular problem, we suggest the company to use earplugs. That's all. Gambar earplug tak ada, jenis earplug tak ada, right? And then there's lots of earplugs in the market. Which one pun tak ada. So maybe the marks will differ with those who put in a bit more detail of earplugs and whatnot, right? Because I want to train you guys so that when you do all these reportings, it is not a general report. It is something when we are talking about report, it is something that is very, very specific on that particular subject. Okay, Azam?
Dan. Thank you, sir.
Right. Any others? I hope you do understand on this. Okay. Don't worry. Every lab session, I will basically the lab session is the same. It's the same. Okay, for every lab session, okay, the procedure, everything is the same. The difference is only the type of material. That's all. The type of material is different, but what you need to do, okay, in terms of the case study, in terms of the procedure, in terms of the steps, you need to include in the report in terms of the numbers of reference. Everything is the same, except that every week we will change different technique. Right? Anything else? So if we don't have anything else, yes, Farid, anything?
Nothing, sir.
Okay, right. So I think if you don't have anything else, I would like to thank all of you for your time and your attention throughout this 2-week lecture session during Ramadan in the late afternoon. Right. So hopefully we'll see you again this Thursday, inshallah. Right. So before we wrap up, okay, I would like to wish you also selamat berbuka puasa. First day of Ramadan. And hopefully everything we do today is being accepted by Allah SWT, inshallah. Right. So let's wrap up this session by reciting Tasbih Kafarah and
And he may well be apologising to his teammates very soon, Derek. It's an unforced error. It really is.
The Black Cats.
Okay, thank you very much again, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe and see you again, inshallah, this Thursday. Assalamualaikum and have a nice evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, has he got to be punished here? Corner, can the Black Cats use the set piece to their advantage?
Thank you, sir.
Well, he wasn't messing around with the clearance.
Right, thank you guys. Welcome. Okay, see you.
This might be the perfect counter-attacking opportunity. Offside, but